One of the biggest things that I have had to deal with in the last week is really for my clients and also for myself, the pattern that continues to keep me sick. And it is this pattern that I see over and over and over again in all avenues of healthcare, the wellness system, the biohacking system. It's also what I see happening why people's businesses are failing. And if you guys could think of what would be the one reason that a business would fail and someone's health would fail, and that society is failing right now on massive proportions. It's because there's something that we didn't learn and we didn't cultivate. And guess what? We killed all the cultures that did. So I want to talk to you today about hyper individualism in wellness and how it's the number one reason that you're staying sick, that I'm staying sick, and that we are not having the success that we want to have. So, if you guys don't know me, I'm Dr. Nicole Woodard. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and a nervous system regulation expert. And when I say a regulation expert, I want to be really clear because the biggest myth that people have in this nervous system regulation, stress management space is that the whole goal is to feel calm, right? Where else have you ever seen this? Yeah, flatlining on an EMG. It means you're dead. We are meant to have emotions. We are meant to have experiences. We are meant to have the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows and everything in between that to get expansion. And really, when I talk about regulation, regulation is how can I experience the highs and the lows and feel safe while I do it? And one of the biggest things to get that safety is to remove this hyper individualism and all the other isms, which I can get into on another day. So let's first just talk about really what is happening in this space. So, hyper individualism, if you haven't been around for that, this is like the you are the solution to your own problems. It's a one of my teenage son's favorite things to say is that sounds like an issue, not an ish me. It is about the reason that you are sick is because you're not doing your habits correctly. You need to work harder. You need to stay more consistent. Hyper-individualism is an extreme form of individualism, really characterized by a relentless force of focus on your personal desires and needs at the expense of social responsibility, collective well-being, and communal values. Now, most people who really have, they don't understand because all of us are giving people, right? Inside of regulated my 14-week group coaching experience, people all the time, they come in because they say, I want to do more and I want to be able to help more people. So I want to get regulated for me so that I can do that. But what they don't realize is that there is this incongruency even in that statement. I got to get me right so that then I can help others. But what is stopping you from getting others to help you get right? Not just a coach, not just someone that you're hiring. Those are important too. But also, why is all the onus on you? I had a client recently who pulled back out of the program and she sent me this message and she said, I'm so sorry I suck so much. That's hyper individualism. Our society, white colonialism, has born that into us. And it's removed a lot of the other cultures that actually can teach us about how to grow community, how to actually have co-regulation. Because also, community and co-regulation doesn't look like homogenous groups. And what I mean by that is that everyone is the same. Everyone has the same political views. There's no rupture. Everyone has the exact same boundaries. No, that's actually part of hyper individualism. And how we know that hyper individualism kind of started was we began to say, talk about the nuclear family. right? Rather than everybody being in a community and knowing people down the street and living in multi-generational homes, the nuclear family started. And this was the first start of hyper-individualism. My dog's like reaching up and wanting love. That's why I'm laughing. And that was the first start of this hyper-individualism. It said, no, just protect you and your own. That's where you need to be focused inside of your four walls. But what that did is that shut you off from the community. And maybe in the beginning you still knew your neighbors, but most neighborhoods were homogenous. Most neighborhoods had people, right, because of what it looks like to buy a house, or when rent is at a set level, right? Everybody that can afford that rent is in a similar socioeconomic class. A lot of times that means we came from similar backgrounds. And all of a sudden we start to see all this homogenation happening. And then it gets a little bit smaller, right? Then all of a sudden we see these massive mental health crises happening with men and then with women. And we start to say, just focus, like men, just focus on your work and come home, and your wife, your partner will be taking care of stuff. So we focused on hyper individualism. We said, men, if you make enough money, and you just focus on your job, then everything will be okay. Don't worry about what's happening at home. Just come to work and focus on work. That's what you should be doing. That's hyper individualism. And it created this rupture even inside of the family. But rather than recognizing that this ruptures were happening, right? We just say, oh, no, no, no. Now we're 50 years down the road and we're seeing women who are having this difficulty managing the what we call the invisible tasks at home. And they're wanting to run careers and businesses, and all of those things are happening. And we're saying, yeah, women, though, just get into programs. Get into programs, get the right morning routine. If you have the right biohacking routine, get the red light therapy masks and get the saunas. Make sure that you're getting hormone replacement therapy. If you didn't see our last video, I'll link it up in the show notes below, all about how hormones probably aren't the root cause of the problem. It was hyper individualism. It said that's this woman's problem because her life isn't set up correctly for her to experience health and wealth and success. Just like we told the man years before when there was issues, just focus on your work and then it'll all work out. That was hyper individualism. And all of that, it's like, and this was me, guys. I just want to call this out because this was me. Years ago, I turned off the news and said, I can't watch the news. And I would scroll through my Instagram and I would be like, why are these political things on here? I don't want to see that. That was hyper individualism. I was saying, please don't let these things affect me. And thank goodness a couple of years ago, I started a decolonization journey. And I've been expanding the people that I've been working with, the people that are in my circles, because I'll be honest, I'm white. I identify as Caucasian. I'm in a I don't even remember what the like I'm married. I'm in a heterosexual. I was like, whew, the word was not coming to me. I'm in a heterosexual marriage. And so there were so many things that just through my family, through generations, through my white culture, that we didn't actually know how to create and sustain community well. And then I started doing these podcasts and interviewing my grandmas, and they started telling me things about our family history. And we actually came from very poor family history on one side of my family, my mom's side. And my grandma was telling me all these stories about how different members in our family actually worked as indentured servants and they worked in the cotton fields. And, my grandma is 94. She's alive and well. And it makes me question, were we able to hold on to that for so long because we actually did have cultural roots inside of other cultures? And I have no idea, right? Not a clue. But what I do know is that we're missing community now. We're missing co-regulation now. And it's probably the reason that we're staying sick. It's the reason why I had a harder week a week ago. And I've noticed this pattern within myself as I keep healing that When I'm not like okay and happy and the positive, like, oh my gosh, I can see the light in everything, Nicole, I will recluse. I'll go and hide because I don't want anyone to know that side of me. They might not like that side of me. So I need to do all my tools and I need to go to counseling by myself and just figure that out between us. And then I can come back into the world and into my friendships and into my partnership and into my business when I feel bright and cheery and sunny. But that's not community. That's not co-regulation. That's a start of self-care, right? Which is important, guys. Like that's a big part of what I teach is self-care and coming within yourself and being able to have the tools to feel safe within yourself. And I love teaching these tools. And you teach these tools also so that you can also feel safe in community. You have to feel safe both safe within here and safe within the world, safe within here. Because if you can't find that balance, being within yourself and always getting everything done on your own will never be enough. You will end up sick. And being out in the community, giving, and even receiving, but never taking responsibility for yourself, never being at cause, right? Just kind of like being in this relationship of, oh, somebody will give me what I need, but not being able to take care of yourself, that won't ever be enough either. Not in currently in this climate that we live in. And so I think it's really important to talk about hyper-individualism isolates you. I believe it's the number one cause of burnout. I believe what happens in burnout, and when I experienced burnout, I believed what happened was I felt this shame for not being okay. So I disappeared. At first, I tried to work, 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 work. Then I was like, I can't outwork myself in this. Then I shut everything down one night, 10 p.m., an email out to all my clients saying this business is effectively shut down. Here's two clients who, or here's two providers who will take over your cases. I'll pay for your care for 30 days. I'm out. And I just huddled myself, right? I was just in this ball, not functioning. I didn't know how to work because I didn't know how to be not okay and be out in the world. And that was the worst case of burnout and mental health things that I've ever experienced because I didn't think I would be accepted out there in the world. And that's really where a lot of these things come from. And people are chasing these quick fixes. Just be more consistent. If you would just go to the gym, everything would be okay. That's one small freaking sliver of doing it. And people are missing the other part. And the only reason I know the other part is because other parts have gotten like kind of taken away from me. And I've been like, oh, that explains it. So when I had my biggest growth in the gym, I was surrounded by this robust local community, but also this robust online community. And I was traveling with my professional level athletes and I was able to see them. It was community, it was co-regulation. And so I was able to stay consistent, not because I was consistent to going and working out. I was consistent to being in the community. And so we need to ask ourselves when we're talking about these routines, when we're talking about being our healthiest, our wealthiest, our safest selves, what are we asking to be consistent to? Because hyper individualism says be consistent to you, consistent to your routine. If you just do that, if you just do that, then everything else will be okay. And then you can start kind of giving to other people. But what I'm kind of asking and what I want to highlight is what does it look like if you're just consistent to your values and consistent to what neuroscience says is your actual needs, which is safety, communication, community. There's I actually I might look it up in a second, but because I want to see like who said this quote or if it's just a lot of people saying it. Because I've seen it a lot of different places, but I want to give credit where credit is due. It's just coming to my mind right now. It's just kind of channeling through me. So I want to say it. Um, but without liberation for all, there is liberation for none. So when you're feeling dysregulated, you're struggling in this world. It's not only because you're struggling, it's because your neighbor is struggling. Our communities are struggling. Our communities at large, our countries, internationally, we are struggling. There are mass disparities and wrongs happening. You are unwell because we are unwell as a human population. And we can't fix everything. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that we can start by naming hyper-individualism in wellness for what it is, right? We are continuing to lean into, oh, I just need more testing. I need more customization. I just want to do one-on-one. I don't want to be in a group because I just want like, I need the sole attention here. There's nuance to it. There's times and places for it. And also, you need community. We as human beings, the most beautiful thing that we can do is pay witness to each other's lives. I was sitting with Jen Gottlieb at her event, and she said this powerful, powerful quote. She was just talking about writing her own book and her friends writing books, and she was talking about them selling books. But what she said wrapped up what I believe about nervous system regulation, feeling safe in our bodies, feeling safe in the world so much. She said, when someone writes a book, I buy two, three, four copies. And she said, because there is no more important work that anyone will do in their life than to share their story. There is no more important work than anyone will do in their life than share their story. And that's why I only do group containers for the most part. I have very few one-on-one, and they have to be in the group container to also do one-on-one. The reason that I do that is because to pay witness to each other is to begin to build a community. When we begin to build a community and we, again, set an intention for that community to be diverse, to be growing, to continue to be a place where rupture and repair can happen. And it's a beautiful synchronicity of life, of growing together and witnessing each other. That is when we will begin to feel safe, more safe within ourselves to be our authentic selves and safe out in the world. Do I teach breath work? Do I do neurotransmitter tests? Yes. I believe that there can be biological reasons happening. And I also believe that you will keep chasing those biological reasons over and over and over again if you do not name the ism that is causing some of these things in the wellness industry. It's hyper individualism and ableism, both of those, right? And racism, right? Like those prejudice, like prejudice, no, just being prejudiced. But those pieces, right? We have to call those things out because those are the things that are keeping us unwell. So, as the wellness industry continues to forge forward and sell you all of these things, the next biohack, what I want you to ask yourself is, what am I doing to be in community? And what am I doing to make sure that that community is diverse and growing? That the voices in my ears, the hearts that I see, the visions that I'm growing with other people, that those are different. And really just a reminder that when we heal the world, we heal ourselves. And if there's not liberation for everyone, there's liberation for none. Please start to call this stuff out. Please be a part of communities that understand this. If you are continuing to struggle again and you're saying, well, it's my fault because I haven't been consistent in this habit or that habit, it's probably not true. There's probably a reason that you haven't been consistent, a deeper reason that goes beyond even you in this lifetime, that goes beyond, it goes into society, it goes into generational cycles. You turning around and constantly blaming yourself. That's not empowerment. It's hyper individualism. And you're hoping along the way that there's some way, this is ableism, that you can fix yourself so that then you know that you can show up in the world. So I'm showing up messy. I said prejudice, which isn't even a word. I'm showing up, I'm speaking about things that, God, I have so much more to learn. Like, so much more to learn. I need more mentors. I need more growth. And we have to begin to speak the truth and we have to call in what it is that we need. More diversity, more community, more witnessing, more vulnerability, more authenticity. If we can do those things, the wellness industry doesn't need to exist. It's the worst business model for me possible, but it's the business model that I know can change the world, which was always my goal. Started writing it down when I was in second grade. What do you want to do whenever you grow up? Change the world. Change the world, change the world, change the world. And I believe community, understanding collectively what's happening, leaning into understanding the collective, being here for the collective, fighting for the collective, that is whenever we will see true change. I would love to hear, what do you think about community as medicine? Let me know what your kind of key takeaways are from this. And I want to leave you with one more thing that I want you to be asking yourself, where am I hiding from community? Where am I hiding from vulnerability? And let me know. And also, if you guys know where great communities are, like tag them below in the video, post their Instagrams, post their YouTubes, post their programs. If you know where there's great spots, where there's diverse community happening, that's really at the depth. We have regulated our 14-week coaching experience that we're going to continue to expand. Would love to have anyone in there. And let me know where your communities are. Let me know where your communities are. All right. Call it as you see it. Know when you're leaning into an ism, ableism, I need to fix myself. Hyper individualism, I need to fix myself before I can go back out there. Where are these things getting you and keeping you on